4 drivers, 4 different highways, and we all got the same message. Next time, check your back seat. Except for Marcus. There was no next time for Marcus. Decent truck stop, every stretch where cell service dies. That's why what happened at mile 142 on Route 287 last Tuesday still has me checking my mirrors every few seconds. It was 11:47 p.m. when I pulled into the rest stop. Tuesday, January 28th, 2025. I'd been driving since Denver, heading to my sister's place in Fort Worth. The parking lot had 3 other vehicles, a semi-truck idling in the far corner, a beat-up sedan near the restrooms, and a white van with tinted windows parked sideways across 2 spots. The fluorescent lights above the restroom entrance flickered in that specific pattern that makes your eyes hurt. I noticed the security camera mounted on the corner was hanging by its wires, lens pointed at the ground. The smell of diesel mixed with something else, ammonia maybe, industrial cleaner? I was washing my hands when I heard it. 2 taps on metal. Deliberate, measured, like someone testing if a door was locked. The sound echoed from the maintenance closet behind me. I turned off the water and listened. Nothing. Just the hum of the broken hand dryer that someone had kicked in. Walking back to my car, I noticed the sedan was gone. But there was something in its parking spot. A phone, screen up on the asphalt, still lit. The lock screen showed 47 missed calls from Mom. I looked around. The van's engine started. I got in my car and locked the doors. That's when I saw him in my rearview mirror, someone standing perfectly still, about 20 feet behind my vehicle, just outside the light's reach. Male build, maybe 6 feet, hands at his sides. Not moving toward me, not moving away. Just standing. I started my engine. He took 1 step forward. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. The text read, "You forgot something in the restroom." I hadn't forgotten anything. I'd only had my keys and phone, both in my hands. I looked back. The figure was closer now, maybe 15 feet. Still not rushing. Still perfectly calm. The van's headlights flicked on. I threw the car in reverse, planning to swing around him, but the van pulled forward, blocking the exit lane. My hands were shaking as I shifted to drive, aiming for the entrance ramp instead. The standing figure broke into a run, not toward my car, but toward the driver's side, trying to cut me off from the entrance. His hand slammed against my window as I accelerated past. Not a punch, a deliberate palm print, like he wanted to leave a mark. In the split second our eyes met, I saw he was wearing a maintenance uniform. The name patch read David, but something about it looked wrong. Too new, like it had just been sewn on. The van's engine followed me on the highway. High beams on, riding my bumper for 3 miles before suddenly taking an exit. I didn't stop driving until I hit a 24-hour gas station in Amarillo, surrounded by people and bright lights. I called the state police from there. They sent someone to check the rest stop. The officer called me back at 3:16 a.m. They'd found the phone I described, along with 7 others, all in a maintenance closet that had been pried open. Different models, different carriers. The oldest one had been reported missing with its owner 3 weeks ago. Here's what really bothers me. 2 days later, I found something in my jacket pocket. A folded receipt from that rest stop's vending machine. Timestamp, 11:51 p.m., 4 minutes after I'd arrived. I never used the vending machine. The receipt was for 2 bottles of water and a candy bar. At the bottom, someone had written in pen, "Next time, check your back seat." I had checked. I always check. But now I check 3 times, 4 times, sometimes 5. The state police officer told me they've had similar reports from that rest stop going back 2 months. Always late at night, always targeting solo drivers. They think it's an organized group. One creates the distraction, one blocks the exit, one makes the approach. They haven't caught anyone. 2 taps on metal. That's what I remember most. Deliberate. Testing. I hear it sometimes when I'm falling asleep. That specific rhythm echoing off bathroom tiles. The officer said they found marks on several car doors in the area, palm prints on driver's side windows, all at the same height, all with the same span between fingers. I've changed my route now. I take I-40 instead, even though it adds 2 hours. But sometimes when I pass mile markers in the 140s, I think about that phone lying in the parking lot. All those missed calls from Mom. I wonder if she's still calling. I worked at a 24-hour quick lube shop off Highway 99 near Fresno for 3 years. Graveyard shift. Just me and the fluorescent lights from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. That changed after what happened on Thursday, February 6th at 2:33 a.m. A black Camry pulled into Bay 3. California plates, but covered in red dust like it had been off-road. The driver, a woman in her 40s wearing a business suit, handed me the keys without making eye contact. She walked to the waiting room while I got started. Under the car, draining the oil, I noticed something. The undercarriage had fresh scratches, deep ones, and caught in the wheel well, a piece of blue fabric, the same blue as our shop uniforms. I pulled it free. It had a name tag still attached. Marcus. He'd quit 2 weeks ago, supposedly moved to Portland. The drain plug gasped as the last oil gurgled out. That's when I heard the woman on the phone in the waiting room. Her voice carried through the thin walls. No, he's alone. Yes, Bay 3. The uniform fits. My chest tightened. I slid out from under the car and grabbed my phone. No signal. The shop's Wi-Fi was down too. I could see the dead router lights from where I stood. The landline had been disconnected months ago to save money. She appeared in the bay doorway, still on her phone, watching me. He found it, she said to whoever was listening. Then she ended the call and smiled. Problem with the car? I forced myself to stay calm, kept working, filled the oil, checked the levels. My hands stayed steady even though my mind was racing. She never stopped watching, never sat down, just stood there in her wrinkled suit, arms crossed. At 2:47 a.m., I heard another engine. A van pulled up outside but didn't enter the bay. 2 men got out. One walked to the shop's entrance, the other circled around back. The woman stepped closer to me. Almost done? The oil cap clicked as I tightened it. Just need to check the computer for the service record. I walked toward the office, but she moved to block me. That won't be necessary. The man from the front entrance appeared behind her, tall, wearing a baseball cap pulled low. He had something in his hand, zip ties. The woman reached for my work phone on my belt. Give me your keys, shop and personal. What would you do when you're trapped in your own workplace? Because that's what I was thinking as I heard the back door's lock click open. If you're watching this at work right now, maybe take a second to subscribe. As a small creator with limited resources, your support helps me research and share more alleged true stories like these. I did the only thing I could think of. Hit the bay door button and rolled under the Camry as it started rising. The woman grabbed for my ankle but missed. The man with the zip ties lunged forward but tripped on the oil change pit cover I'd left askew. I scrambled out the bay door and ran for the truck stop across the highway. Made it halfway across the parking lot before I heard footsteps behind me. The third person, the one who'd gone around back. He was faster than me, younger. His hand caught my collar just as I reached the truck stop's lights. But truckers were watching, 3 of them, standing by their rigs, coffee in hand. The hand let go immediately. I stumbled into the truck stop and called 911 from the cashier's phone. The police found the Camry abandoned 2 miles away. The VIN was filed off. The plates were stolen. But in the trunk, they found other things. Work shirts from different shops, a janitor's key card, a security badge from a warehouse, all with different names, all from night shift workers. Marcus never made it to Portland. They found his car at a salvage yard the next week. He'd been reported missing by his roommate, but since he'd talked about leaving town, nobody had pushed it. The blue fabric from the wheel well matched his last uniform exactly. They never found the 3 people. But another night shift worker disappeared from a shop in Bakersfield. Same pattern. Alone on shift, no cameras, phone lines mysteriously down. I work days now. Only days. But sometimes when I'm under a car and I hear footsteps above me, my whole body tenses. Because I know what they were planning. The zip ties, the van, the filed-off VIN. They're still out there, shopping for night shift workers, checking for shops with 1 person on duty, looking for the next Marcus.
I'd been driving trucks for 12 years when I took the contract to haul medical supplies from Seattle to Minneapolis. January 15th, 2025. Should have been routine. 3 days there, 3 back. Good money. That was before the way station at milepost 267 in Montana. It was 4:22 a.m. when I pulled in. Middle of nowhere, mountains on both sides. The station looked closed, but the sign flashed, "All trucks must enter." Protocol is protocol. I pulled onto the scale. The weight was wrong. My load was 2,800 pounds heavier than the manifest. I knew because I'd memorized it. You do that when you're hauling medical supplies. Federal regulations and all. The display flashed for me to pull forward to Inspection Bay A. A man in a DOT uniform walked out of the office. Badge said Inspector Williams. But something was off. His boots were wrong. Too new. Too expensive. And DOT inspectors don't usually work alone at 4 a.m. "Need to inspect your load," he said, already walking to my trailer. "Routine check." My sealed trailer, the one with tamper-proof locks that would cost me my contract if broken. "I can't open that without authorization from dispatch," I told him. He smiled, pulled out a phone. "Already cleared. They said you might be confused. Long drive and all." He showed me a screen with what looked like an email from my company, but the domain was wrong, 1 letter off. That's when I noticed the second man, standing by the office door, not in uniform, just watching, hand in his jacket pocket. The parking lot had no other trucks, no other vehicles except a white rental van parked behind the building. "I need to call dispatch myself," I said, reaching for my phone. "No signal out here," Williams said. He was right. I checked. "Use the office phone." The second man opened the office door for me. Inside, the phone was there, but the cord was cut. Not torn, cut clean, recent. I could smell the exposed copper. Williams stood right behind me. "Problem with the lines. Happens all the time up here." My trailer's lock beeped. Someone was trying the combination. I looked out the window. A third person was at my trailer with some kind of electronic device. "Hey!" I started for the door, but Williams grabbed my arm, hard. "Just need to check your load. Federal authority." The second man moved between me and the door. I noticed a tattoo on his neck. Russian letters, prison style. These weren't DOT inspectors. "You're not federal anything," I said. Williams' expression changed, dropped the act. "Smart man, but you're still gonna open that trailer." The thing about driving truck for 12 years, you learn to read situations. These men wanted my medical supplies. The extra weight in my trailer meant they'd already added something, probably at my last fuel stop while I was inside. They needed me to open it so it wouldn't look like a robbery, make it seem like I was involved. "Sure," I said. "Let me get my paperwork from the cab first." Williams nodded to the second man, who followed me out. But truckers keep more than paperwork in their cabs. The moment I opened the door, I grabbed the air horn cord and laid on it. The sound echoed off the mountains, deafening. Then, I locked myself in and started the engine. Williams ran toward the cab, but I was already moving. The white van screeched out from behind the building, trying to block me. I clipped its front end, sending it spinning. The way station's exit was blocked by a mechanical arm. I drove straight through it. The impact barely slowed my rig. In the mirrors, I saw them scrambling for the van, but I damaged it good. 20 miles down the road, I finally got signal and called 911, then dispatch, then the FBI, because interstate medical supply theft is federal. They told me to keep driving, don't stop until I reach the next city. When they inspected my trailer in Billings, they found a GPS tracker and a secondary lock mechanism attached to mine. Sophisticated stuff. The extra weight? Hidden compartments welded under the trailer packed with something wrapped in plastic. The FBI took everything. I learned later that 3 trucks had been hit that month. All medical supplies, all solo drivers, all at remote way stations. But they'd never had someone fight back before. Usually drivers opened their trailers, got tied up, and the thieves vanished with select high-value supplies. Williams wasn't his real name. They never caught him, but that way station now has real DOT inspectors. 24 hours, never alone. I still drive, still haul medical supplies, but I check my trailer weight at every stop. And when I pass milepost 267, I don't slow down, not even a little.
I was coming home from my daughter's college graduation in Ohio, May 18th, 2025, 10:47 p.m. The GPS said to take exit 47B for a faster route around construction. I should have stayed on the highway. The exit ramp curved into darkness. No streetlights, no signs. Just a 2-lane road cutting through empty fields. My headlights caught a reflective vest ahead. A construction worker waving me toward a detour onto a dirt road. Orange cones lined the path. 5 minutes down the dirt road, my car suddenly lurched. Both passenger side tires blew at once. I pulled over, heart pounding. When I got out to check, I found a spike strip, partially hidden under loose dirt. This wasn't construction. My phone had no signal. The road behind me was dark. Ahead, too. Just my hazard lights blinking against nothing. I locked my doors and tried to think. That's when headlights appeared in my rearview mirror. The construction worker, walking beside a pickup truck. He knocked on my window. "Saw you had trouble. We can help." But his reflective vest was too clean. No dirt, no wear, and construction workers don't usually wear wedding rings. This one had a tan line where one should be. I cracked the window an inch. "I've called AAA. They're on the way." He smiled, looked back at the truck. Someone else was in there. Maybe 2 people? "No cell service out here, but we've got a satellite phone in the truck. You can use it." Through my side mirror, I saw movement in the field. Another person, walking parallel to my car about 30 feet out. They thought I couldn't see them in the dark, but their phone screen gave them away. Checking something, creating a small blue glow against their face. "I'm good," I said. "My husband's expecting me. He'll come looking." The man's smile faded. He tested my door handle. Locked. "You sure you want to wait out here alone?" That's when I made a decision. Started my car and drove, on rims, the metal screaming against dirt, throwing sparks. The man jumped back. The truck's high beams flashed on, following. 2 blown tires meant I couldn't go fast, maybe 15 miles per hour. The truck stayed right behind me, sometimes pulling alongside, trying to force me to stop. The person from the field was running, trying to catch up. After a half-mile of hideous grinding, I saw lights ahead, a gas station. But as I got closer, I realized it was abandoned. Windows boarded, pumps removed. They'd herded me here. This was their plan. The truck accelerated, pulling in front of me to block the exit, but they'd miscalculated. I wasn't stopping. I drove straight into their rear quarter panel, spinning them into the old pump island. My airbag deployed, theirs must have too. I stumbled out and ran, behind the station through tall grass that cut my hands. I could hear them shouting, following. My graduation dress caught on wire fencing, tearing as I pulled free. A drainage ditch ran behind the property. I dropped into it, waist-deep in cold water, and followed it away from the voices. Stayed in that ditch for what felt like an hour until I saw actual streetlights, real ones, a real road with real traffic. Comment where you're from if you're still watching. I'm curious how many of you know about Exit 47B. A passing semi stopped when I flagged it down. The driver took one look at me, soaking, bleeding, covered in mud, and immediately called 911. He stayed with me until the police arrived. He said I was the third person this month to flag him down on that stretch. The police knew about the fake construction setup. They'd been looking for these people for weeks. Same pattern, spike strips, fake detour, isolated location. They'd robbed 14 people, but I was the first to ram their vehicle. They found the truck abandoned at the gas station. Stolen, of course, but the front airbag had blood on it. DNA led them to one arrest 3 weeks later. He flipped on the others. 4 people total. They'd been targeting solo drivers, especially women, coming back from graduations, weddings, family events, people with nice cars who might have cash or jewelry. The thing that haunts me, they'd done research. The person in the field had a tablet with information, license plates, routes. They knew I'd be alone, knew what time I'd left Ohio. They'd been waiting specifically for me. I take the train now when I visit my daughter. But sometimes, driving at night, when my GPS suggests a faster route, I ignore it. I stay on the main highway, even if it takes an hour longer. Because Exit 47B doesn't exist on any official map. The DOT confirmed it. That ramp was decommissioned in 2003. Someone had removed the barriers and set up those cones, just for people like me.